A very good evening to our viewers. Thank you for joining us for the Monday edition of the Evening Review. My name is Toiwenjabela. Tonight on the platform we are joined by Rirua Komeheke. He is one of the people who intend to protest, or rather to march, on Friday the 16th of this week, demanding the release of former Agriculture Minister Mac Hengari, who is currently behind bars over allegations of bribery. And Rirua is here to help us understand the motive behind the planned march. Thank you very much, sir, for making time. It's quite an extraordinary demand that you're about to make. I know that there's been a lot of similar sentiments on social media, but now you want to formalize the entire process of demanding the release of the minister. Why do you want the minister to be released?
Oh yes, thank you for the opportunity again. You see, I love it when I say as sovereigns, as citizens of this country with all the rights intact, and at any given time, all these rights should be upheld. Easier word is should be respected. Dr. Mac Hengari's rights, as far as I'm concerned, and the like-minded people who would like to join the march, were disrespected.
Yeah.
For purposes of clarity, from the onset, I want to make it clear. I want to set two things apart. One is the 11 allegations which the police was investigating. I've got no business with that now. I've got every business with the arrest that took place on that particular day and the way it was done. Immediately when Dr. Hengari was arrested, it was beamed. Everybody saw photos of him being arrested, handcuffed, almost thrown in a car. Allegations are that there was a journalist present. The allegations are that the journalist was in the car of the police. The allegations are that possibly the lady that was supposed to be protected by the police and in the police protection, under the police protection, allegations are that she was there. Now, putting that into perspective, as far as the rights are concerned, let me illustrate with what happened to Ms. Jennifer Komali. Jennifer Komali was arrested. She was supposed to attend a board meeting at Namcor. She was arrested because apparently they found drugs in her car. Fast forward, Monday, she appeared in court. Fast forward, the case was struck from the roll. Whose drugs are these? Whose drugs were in Komali's car?
Yeah.
Hitherto, we don't know. Nobody was arrested for that. Now the real culprit, the person who deposited the drugs in Ms. Komali's car. These people were not arrested. These people, nobody accounted for it. The Namibian police services did not come back to us and say, we are sorry, we arrested the wrong person. The actual culprit as far as the drugs are concerned is this person. Now, what was on our mind then was that Ms. Komali was going to attend a meeting that was going to decide whether a particular CEO or former CEO or suspended CEO was going to be fired or remain or so. So I'm saying, with the like-minded people who are going to march, we are saying, I think the police stooped low to a level of being used as tsotsis. Because that is not right. For Dr. Hengari to have been arrested that way, it is not right.
In what way did you think he should have been arrested? How do people get arrested?
No. You see, now you forgot what I said. I listed few things. I listed few things that made it not a proper arrest. I listed them.
No, you spoke about the presence of a journalist.
I said photos were taken.
Yes.
Photos were beamed. Names were released. His name was released, which is not appropriate. All the time when somebody is being arrested, only Monday or any other time that he appeared in court are the names released.
Yeah. No,
that's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why we are saying it was not right. For it to have been done that way, it was not right. So the intent was to hasten. What is the right word?
Yeah, hasten. Yes.
To hasten the sacking, which was the firing by the president, or his resignation. Because
I thought the president was actually pretty patient, because the nation expected the sacking to have taken place much earlier.
No, but that's not right. Because remember, I started with rights.
Yes.
All our rights are intact. What happened is the police has not contacted me. That's what was said by the former minister about anything.
Yes.
So, as I said, the 11 allegations, the people who are marching, they are not interested in that now. We are interested in the way the arrest took place. Remember, I remember Advocate Pio Tiek, Marapi, the way he was arrested, and what was going to happen that time.
Yeah.
Judge president this, judge president that, and so on.
Yeah.
And then eventually he won the case. He sued the state and what have you until he passed on. Of course, it was not resolved, right?
Yeah.
So the technical knockout was the I don't want to use the word crime scene. The crime scene was so contaminated that it did not qualify to be a crime scene. The same with the former minister's arrest.
So let me put this to you, Rirua. If your argument was that the technical aspects of the arrest, because there's a procedure that is followed by the police to arrest someone, sometimes there has to be a warrant of arrest, sometimes there has to be this, there has to be that. Maybe there has to be a charge laid and stuff like that. If you are saying the arrest did not tick off those boxes, then I can understand your agitation. But to say the former minister must be released on the mere basis of photos of him having been taken at the scene, and journalists, for one reason or another, having been sort of pre-notified of what was going to happen, that cannot qualify as grounds to demand the release of a minister. That is a whole thing, different thing altogether.
No, but we are not into the details of what was going to happen at that event, at that venue. If we have to get into that, then definitely the Komali case is reference. Whose money was it? Was it his? Because we don't know whose drugs these were up to now.
But the Komali case...
It's the same.
Rirua, no, it's not the same. Because...
It's the same,
no,
Chief.
Because Komali was only let go by her being... We don't even know, because the matter was struck from the roll.
Yes.
It was not dismissed. It can actually be very much brought back if there are grounds to do that by the prosecutors. And I know that it was struck from the roll because, if I remember correctly, the state was repeatedly unprepared. And courts generally say you can't keep a person in bondage while showing up here unprepared, and therefore we strike this thing from the roll until you guys are ready. Then you can come back to us. But that was the court. It had nothing to do with the police. The police still arrested Jennifer Komali and handed her over to the next step, which is the judiciary. And the judiciary decided to strike the whole thing off the roll.
Yes.
In this case, you seem to be dealing with the manner the police conducted itself, and I'm saying you can't compare the two because there was no police issues with the Komali issue.
Now, you are detaching my entry point, which was the rights.
Yeah.
The police was right when they insisted on not arresting before the investigations were thoroughly done. for the 11 allegations.
Yes.
That we don't have a problem. We have a problem with the new arrest. The new charge that was laid. Because what you are saying is that it looks as if it is premeditated. Let's have him arrested so that it fastens either the sacking or the resignation.
But the man was found with a stash of money.
No, but that's what we are saying.
Allegedly,
but that's what we are saying.
The person. So who put money in his briefcase or whatever
because
he was having?
Because what the allegations are, some of them are like he was removed from the car, even at gunpoint. Those are allegations. So what you are saying is that all those rights, all his rights, were supposed to be intact until the investigations are done and therefore thoroughly arrested. Just like any other investigations are happening and people are not arrested up to now. So the marching, one of the major reasons why we are marching is we want to avoid the state whereby we should fear the police. We should be friendly with the police. The police should be friendly with us. Because up to now, the police owe us explanations or reports as to actually what happened to the late CEO of AMTA, for example. We were told he shot himself. As a journalist, did you get anything hitherto? Somebody else at Midgard, there were allegations that he shot himself too. I remember, I'm trying to remember whether it was last year or the 2023. The police investigations was ongoing. Hitherto, we do not know what happened, whether really the person shot themselves or not, but what immediately happened is the police says the person shot himself, the investigation is ongoing. Now, how do we know that the person shot himself? So we're marching because we want to make sure that the police is not going to, I don't want to use the word intimidate, but we should not be afraid of the police. Because the police belongs to the Ministry of Safety and Security.
Yes.
Our security at any given point must be guaranteed. Our safety at any given point must be guaranteed. So the friendly relationship between the police and the citizens, it must be upheld. It must be one of the cornerstone of our existence here. So we are saying, we allege it was a premeditated arrest.
Okay.
It was not supposed to happen that way, taking into cognizance that this is a minister. At that time, he was a minister.
Yes.
And what was so difficult? To have called the person to the station. Please come to the police station.
With his stash of money or what?
No.
So okay,
remember, it was bribery
until
after.
Let's go for a break. But I'll give you this question, which you answer after the break. Whether bribery is actually a crime in Namibia, and when you are caught with a stash of 222,000 allegedly bribing someone, what should be the next action from the authorities? Rirua Komeheke will answer that after the break.
Taking flight has never been easier. Paratus is introducing Sky-Fi internet packages with speeds that will have you reaching for your seatbelts, starting from $500 Namibian excluding VAT per month, with speeds reaching up to 10 megabits per second. There's even a prepaid option where you can top up your Sky-Fi internet for just $15 Namibian per gigabyte. No contracts, no fuss. Visit your nearest Paratus branch to find out more, or go to paratus.africa/Namibia to sign up online.
Always prepared, Paratus.
Our conversation with Rirua continues on the evening review. To my question, you say, what are you saying to that question?
I'm saying, if you allow me to be either hypothetical or general, then I'll find it difficult, because we have an issue at hand here. The issue at hand is our concern as far as the relationship between us and the police is concerned.
But if the police finds Toivo Njabela with a stash of money to bribe someone, it's because what we understand, Rirua, and I know that you would have heard this, there was a conversation going on between the victim I think maybe through intermediaries and the minister, the former minister, to the extent that everything was being organized, to the extent that even an agreement, some sort of draft agreement was crafted to say, I give you this much and you leave me alone after this. You keep your mouth shut, change your version to the police or whatever, but I'll pay you so that we no longer have to do this. This is an active police investigation against those allegations. So police tracked, when the police were alerted, apparently, that there was such an attempt, then everything she was advised, as police do generally, play along while we see if he will indeed show up with money. And he showed up with money, there's evidence there everywhere, then the arrest was effected. What should have the police done there?
No, but that's entrapment.
Yes, entrapment, because...
That's entrapment.
Entrapment.
So already the lawyer will deal with that issue that way.
It's a policing strategy. Entrapment is a policing strategy where once you hear that there will be a robbery somewhere, the police could say, do not lock your bar until 12 o'clock because we understand at 12 o'clock robbers will come to your bar. So don't lock it so that we catch them hand in hand with their pants down. That's entrapment.
No, but that's not the job of the police. The job of the police is to prevent crime. They were supposed to have prevented crime. They were not supposed to have aided crime. That's the job of the police. The police is to prevent crime. They are not looking for criminal. They are not enticed seeing criminals being at work. They are not enticed by that. They are enticed by preventing crime. That's their main purpose, is to prevent crime.
Dangerous crime, not bribing someone.
Yes. But no, crime cannot be weighed. We can't have the crime 50 kilograms and crime 2 kilograms.
If someone is going to kill someone, we can prevent that because you can't do it. You can't undo that. But if somebody intends to bribe an officer of the law or a citizen in order for them to not be pursued legally or by law,
this is what we cannot prove, all of us.
Of course, we cannot.
So that's
why the processes will play themselves out.
And if it was, yes, but the release for which we are crying, would help. If we agree that the crime need to be proven, right? Like the allegations where the investigation was supposed to take place. Now, if it happened that the arrest happened that way, it gives you a reason to want to say, but had it been not, done that way, we wouldn't be here. Had there been no discussions about this money or that money, whether it was fictitious or real, we wouldn't be here. That's why we are saying, of all the other crimes, whether it has to do with bribery or not, these look very, very suspicious.
Because that is exactly what I want to drive into now. We don't have a lot of time, but I want you to engage me, Rirua, on these theories. Supposedly, because I've seen a lot of stuff being written on social media, and you are hinting at the same, that somehow there's a conspiracy against the minister because he had these huge portfolios. What is so special about Dr. Hengari specifically, so much that the world would have been, this is a machinery somewhere that is just busy
we have those,
his downfall.
We have those type of questions.
There's someone, because there's also now tribalism being thrown into this whole thing. That somehow, because Dr. Hengari comes from a particular ethnic identity, that somehow he shouldn't have been arrested, or the allegations that are being made against him must just be dismissed. There are other ex-ministers in jail that are not from his tribe, and they are there.
Trevor, those are the questions we have. All of us, those of us who want to go and march. We are saying, 2019, the allegations are that Dr. Hengari was engaged with this minor.
Yes.
Fast forward to 2025. The same victim became 2021. There was a child birthed to this engagement until DNA submitted it differently. Now, what we are saying...
Yeah, DNA is not, it's not out, but
No, the DNA is out.
It's not out.
What we are saying is,
Yeah.
those of us who are worried is, if it was an engagement with a minor in 2019,
Yeah.
and then you are saying, what is so special about this particular case?
Yeah.
Then exactly that answers the question, Kusha. If this happened in 2019, what was so special such that only in 2024,
Yeah.
somewhere in September or November or October, did we get an opportunity to lay charges or to open a file? Because that case number is for 2024. So from 2019 to 2024,
Yeah.
what was happening? This is why we are saying the timing makes it suspicious.
Let me tell you what is being said, Rirua. And we are both speculating. I think the facts will play themselves out in court. But for context, this alleged rape is not your forceful, it's statutory rape. The way it's,
I mentioned the word minor.
Yeah, exactly. So these are people who were allegedly in a relationship. So she was supposed to report her boyfriend for what? Because what happened is that, what we are told, they were just in a relationship, but which was illegal in Namibian law. So there's no reason if you are having a girlfriend who's 15 to say, oh, I'm going to report you to the police tomorrow because you slept with me. Because it's
you're offbeat.
It's a boyfriend.
No, to me you're offbeat.
But so that is one aspect. The second aspect is that after all these things that have happened, when this lady whom we don't know, whom I don't know personally, when she went to the police in November last year to lay a charge, there was no talk of Dr. Hengari. If you had asked him in November whether he would become a minister in the Namibian cabinet, he would have said no, because nobody knew. So this girl didn't know anything. It was only when the minister got appointed 5 months later, and the girl apparently keeps going to the police and saying, where's my case? How far are you now with my case? There are no answers. People are just dismissing it. And when a person gets treated that way, that's when they went to the Amsheleros of this world to say, no, but the police are not helping me. There's a background and context to it.
I want to deal with your number one on that submission.
Yeah.
You see, you're talking about minor,
Yeah.
having led a relationship with us. I'm borrowing the word. Already that she's a minor.
Yes.
It's statutory, meaning that it's a responsibility of the state. She doesn't have to go open a file, lay a charge or what, because she has no right to consent.
You have to report them.
No. That's a statutory responsibility.
Yes.
Nobody has to report anything except the parents. The parents had to stand up and tell the police that our minor is ABCD.
Yes.
There is no excuse for that.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be dealt with in 2019 already, either by the parents or by the community or by the teachers or by anybody else who was supposed, who knew about this. Because anyway, somebody somehow knew. But as I said earlier, it is not easy and comfortable for me as a parent to address that issue, the minor or not. To me, it's not easy that Dr. Hengari is arrested for bribery that became an attempt to circumvent or to defeat the cause of justice. Yeah. That is our interest. It is interesting that there was $230,000 beamed by the media, and immediately a week later or so it became $122,000.
Yes.
It clearly gives us an idea as to why is this so special, this particular one? From 2019 to 2024, why is this one so special? So we are saying we're going to march to ask for a release, which was conducted by the executive being the cabinet being the minister being the authorized person to deal with the police.
Yeah.
Because the applicant now, if you ask me, is the prosecutor general. That's the person who is in charge of this. The prosecutor general by now would have looked almost at everything else, and she's being tempted to agree with us that something is fishy here.
We have 30 seconds. I want to put the last question to you, Rirua. One of the demands, if I understand correctly, is also that not only must Dr. Hengari be released, he must be reinstated in his position. The money must be shifted back to wherever and return Dr. Hengari into that position. You are saying the minister who is pictured with a stash of money in front of him and in handcuffs must return to cabinet.
I cannot agree with you with stashed money because I still want to know whose drugs were they
The
that was
money
found in Komali's car.
The money was
I
there.
cannot agree with you on that one until the court has ventilated us.
No, Komali
Yes.
is not...
no, Komali's car had drugs, Chief.
No,
There were drugs in Komali's car.
But stick
So
to
the
this one.
reinstatement demand, we are going to deal with it when we get to Agostino Neto, what do you call that, Plaza?
Yeah, yeah.
We're starting from Computer Land. Some people don't know Computer Land. Computer Land is where you have the Sunshine private school all the way through Independence to Ospamplatz. Those of us who are oldest mountains, we know Ospamplatz. So it's Agostino Neto Plaza, Angola House. That's where we are gathering to hand over a letter of demand to anybody coming from the State House because we are marching on the State House.
Yeah.
We are telling the State House that we don't feel protected. As citizens, we don't feel protected if police have to do this. So
What
it's
time?
Thursday, 9 for 10. From 10 to 12, we'll be busy with this issue.
Okay.
From Computer Land through Independence Avenue all the way to Agostino Neto Plaza.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Always good talking to you, Rirua.
Thank you for your time once
Yeah,
again.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's Rirua Komeheke. He is from the Free Mac Hengari Movement. That's a group of organized people who are demanding the release of the former agriculture minister from jail, or even getting him to be reinstated into his position as minister. Thank you for watching.